Hi honey, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me, or more appropriately, Assalamu alaikum honey, or Ramadan Kareem alayna wa alaykum. Inshallah Ramadan is coming into your home this year with khair and barakah. Although it is a very tricky time and a very tricky situation to be having Ramadan with everyone being in quarantine and like basically the whole world being in lockdown. In preparation for the trickiness of this Ramadan, or like the unusualness of this Ramadan, I'm gonna give you 5 tips on what I'm doing to prepare myself, my home, little things that I'm doing to increase my productivity. But how do I say this? Because you know when people fast, they get like really cranky and like people like get like very like testy. So I'm imagining that is going to be times 10 million when you add in the fact that no one can leave the house. You're kind of like stuck in close quarters with family members. It can, it can get a little sticky. So yeah, these are kind of the 5 things that I'm doing to better my mood, increase my productivity, and also like bring that sort of festive and nice environment into the house to, lift everyone's spirits and make them feel like it's not the end of the world, basically. For my first tip, it's actually not so much in the realm of religiousness, I guess, but I'm just preparing myself with 2 books that I really want to read, because it's pretty easy to find yourself bored in the middle of the day and like, oh, okay, fine, I'll go watch a movie or something. So I've prepared myself with 2 books. One is not so religious, one is kind of in the realm of religion, so that when I do get bored, it's much easier to be like, there's that book I was reading, and then I can go read something that's actually beneficial to me in terms of like in religion, and also just like mind-wise, it's better to read a book rather than watch Netflix for the afternoon kind of thing. So my first book that's not so religious, it's called Excellent Daughters, and it's about how different our generation of Muslim women are compared to the generations before, or compared to like historically how we've always lived our lives, taking more of like independent roles, wanting more power and freedom. And yeah, I thought it would be really interesting. It's in the realm of Islam kind of, but not too much, because at the same time you don't want to like overload your brain with like just Quran du'as. You're gonna get bored. So that's for when I'm feeling oversaturated. Then we have this book, is Woman in the World. It's very similar to the other book that's really famous. It's called Don't Be Sad. I'll put in a picture or something like this. I've read that one before as well, and it was very good. It's basically about how you can use tools within Islam and within like du'as and prayers that you can use to kind of navigate your life through like depression, anxiety, stress, and the life of like a woman in Islam. I hope it'll be good. I hope it's not like full of sexist dumb things, but hopefully it'll be nice. The second preparation, I made a list of like 3 goals, but what I forced myself to do here is that I made these goals very simple, very easy, because last Ramadan and the Ramadan before that, I made too many goals, and then I also made them way too big. Like I was like, I want to become Hafid Quran by the end of Ramadan, and it's like, dude, it's 1 month. And I've also made these goals with other people, so I've made them with my parents, my siblings, and my husband, but for me, I don't care if someone holds me accountable so much. Like I don't really care if someone's like, you promised you'd do this and you didn't, and I'm like, yeah, so. But if I'm competing with someone, then I'm not gonna let it go, because I'm like, I have to win. Like if we're doing 3 goals, I want to make sure I do all 3, and I do them way better than you and do them before you, and that's what motivates me as a person, like to compete with other people. So yeah, I want you to set a manageable number of goals if you want to do this with me, and then I want you to do something that will motivate you to actually fulfill those goals. So for me, it's to compete with people that I know and love, and maybe for you it's being held accountable. Maybe it's publishing it on YouTube or on Instagram or something, and having people check in on you about it. My number 1 goal is to just add 1 sunnah prayer. This Ramadan, I want to build a goal that will live past Ramadan. Like it's not just Eid, it'll be over and I'll throw it away. Sunnah of Fajr is the one I want to specifically add into my routine. I just feel like if I just do 1 and I put it into my routine for the whole month, after the month is over, I'll still do it. It's just a quick one. It's just the 2 rak'ah one for Fajr. So yeah, that's one of my goals. Then my second goal is, and this is the fun competition one, I'm going to try and memorize 3 different surahs. Inshallah by Eid, I would have them, locked and loaded into my head. Get 3 of them. It can be like maybe 1 really long one, 2 short ones, or 3 long ones, 3 medium ones. Whatever you're able to do, pick the 3, and then by the end of Eid, inshallah, you'll sit there with the person you were competing with, and you'll both see how much you remember. Did you remember all 3? Did you only get 2? Did you only get 1? I'm gonna get all 3. Number 3 is also very, very simple, just like the sunnah one, is I want to increase my istighfar. So just in case you don't know, istighfar is like when someone is with a tasbih, or you can do it on your fingers, words of praise to God, and you do them throughout your day. Sallu ala nabi, like just small things you can just literally just say while you're cooking, maybe while you're showering. You can don't do that. And the way I'm gonna do it is when I feel like listening to music, or in any of my normal routines where I do listen to music, I'm gonna try and change that to istighfar. So I usually listen to music when I'm doing my hair, for example. So while I'm combing my hair, putting oil in it, whatever, I'm usually listening to music and singing, whatever. So I can very easily turn that into a moment of istighfar for Ramadan. And then after Ramadan, maybe it will turn into something where sometimes I listen to music when I do my hair, sometimes I do istighfar. It could stick with me, it could not, but it's something so simple and so easy that most probably will stick with me. See what I'm doing there? So those are my 3 goals, and that's what I'm going to try really, really hard to be doing every single day in Ramadan. And hopefully when Eid comes around, I hope to retain these goals and retain them in my life, so they're not just like Ramadan things, And at the end of the day, Allah loves consistency more than He loves just one big act of kindness or one big act of ibadah. So maybe you decided that today 24 hours you're going to pray, but then I decided that I'm going to start doing istighfar every day and just say Allahu Akbar 5 times every day for the rest of my life. It is much more appreciated. It sounds weird when I say that, but it's just much more nicer, I guess. It's much nicer and much more beneficial to you to be consistent on something small rather than do something massive and then never do it again. If you understand what I mean. That's why I've made my 3 goals very small, very attainable, and very much things I can implement into my schedule and into my daily habits of life. On the point of consistency, my 3rd point of preparation is to prepare a menu. I need a menu for suhoor, I need a menu for iftar, of course, and I need a menu for snacks as well. Because the thing that happens in Ramadan for me, especially for my family, is that you say and you prepare yourself for a healthy Ramadan, or get some sort of benefit from the fact that you're going to fast 1 whole month, you know what I mean? Then in reality, if you don't prepare yourself and prepare the foods that you are going to put into your body in terms of snacks, suhoor, iftar, all of it, at the end of Ramadan, when it reaches Eid, you actually end up gaining weight, which doesn't make any sense because you fasted a whole month, doesn't make sense, and it's very frustrating. And it's a very similar idea to that idea people tell you never go supermarket shopping when you're hungry, never sit down to prepare a meal, or never decide what you guys are gonna eat that day when you're fasting. Don't do that. You'll 100% you'll overcook and over prepare food because you're hungry. You'll overestimate how much you even want to eat or how much other people want to eat, and you're gonna most probably make things that are very sugar concentrated, very unhealthy, because that's what you'll be craving in the moment. But if you just have a menu that you wrote when you were sane and you were normal, before you went into fasting, you'll just reference that menu. But also in the terms of quarantine, menus are really important right now, because obviously the menu is going to create your shopping list, and if you don't deviate from these 2 things, you're most probably going to stick within the rations you've prepared for Ramadan. And it's really important in this time that you don't randomly go off to buy stuff from the supermarket just as casually as you would have normally. Also, this menu is how I hope to maintain my weight through Ramadan, because I always gain weight in Ramadan, always. If I don't have a menu and I go off that menu and I just go with that whole thing of like, oh, I woke up today, what will I cook? Or something like that. Like, I will cook horrible things for people. Like, I am the worst in Ramadan. I will literally spend the whole day baking cookies, making cheesecakes, doing freaking breads, and making 10 meals. Like, I'm the worst. So menus are very important for people like me. If you're like me and you're one of those people who like overcook and overdo it in Ramadan just because you're that type of person, menus are very important. They will change your life. Okay, my last two preparation things are kind of in the same realm. So the first one is to decorate your house for Ramadan. I don't know why we don't do this. Like in Kenya, I started doing this like maybe 2 years ago. We started doing that in our own house, but it's very like not normal. This is because we grew up in a non-Muslim country. Kenyans aren't really used to doing that, like preparing their homes for Ramadan with like the fairy lights and cute decorations and all of that. Also, they're not very easily available for us. So like, I think 2 years ago, one of my aunties was coming down from Saudi, so I was like, please girl, please, here's my list. Like, I need this stuff. I need lights and decor and cute stuff. I always like kind of pick one room. So me and my mom pick one room in the house and we say, okay, this is the room where we're gonna do iftar like for the whole month. And that's the room that we decorate. So we don't necessarily decorate like the whole house or anything. It brings a very beautiful feeling, at least for me and for my family. It has a like festive coziness, especially in this time of quarantine where you're stuck in your houses. It's really important to make your houses an area of like that festive Ramadan feeling, create that environment for your family that they wouldn't really have had otherwise, because they're not going to the mosque, they're not going to meet their friends and their community and like share that festive feeling with each other. So it's important for us to create those environments, and this is like our iftar room basically. Last one, I love to do this in Ramadan, where in my room, so here's what I'm thinking, right? In Ramadan, you want to increase your ibadah, you want to increase like the amount of Quran you read, you want to increase the amount of prayers you do. A lot of people like to increase tahajjud prayers, which is like the prayer of very late night, so like 3 a.m. around there. So what I think to myself is, okay, if I want to increase the production of this specific thing, then I need to create a space for it. That's what I always do for anything I want. If I want to draw more, paint more, I'll create a space for painting. That being said, if I would like to create a more productive month in terms of reading Quran, praying, blah, 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 I need to create my space for that. So that place is comforting and comfortable and inviting. You're much more likely to stay there, do your one page of Quran, do the increased amount of ibadah. For me, every time I look at that space, it will remind me, like, hey, remember you wanted to spend more time over there? Remember about that? But yeah, for me that works. The first year I did it very small. Like, I literally just made a small little corner where I put like a cute blanket and a pillow, and in that corner is where I sat and like read Quran for that Ramadan period. As I've gone on with the years, grown up a little bit, got a bit more extra. Now, as you can see, there's a whole little corner of my room. I've put my basket there with my Qur'ans, my tasbihs, my prayer clothes as well, just to make it very simple for myself to quickly, everything is in one place. It's very cozy with my little couch there, with my little lamp, super cute. And yeah, so that is my last tip, is just to create a space for the goals you've set out for yourself. So my 3 goals of like the sunnah prayer, the 3 memorization of the memorization of the 3 surahs, and the increased istighfar. This space, every time I look at it, it will remind me to do them. But then every time I'm sitting in it, I want to sit for longer. It's comfortable, it's cute, I can take cute like selfies. Whatever works for you. You know yourself, you know what will encourage you. For me, a cute, aesthetic, Instagrammy corner where I feel cozy and cute, it encourages me to read Quran and to do the goals I've set out for myself. So it might seem silly to you, but whatever you're doing might seem silly to somebody else. The whole point is it feels right for you. So do you, boo. Guys, I really hope you guys benefited and enjoyed this video, and please, like I said before, if you have any of your own suggestions, please leave them down below. Not only will they help me, but it will help our other friends who are also here watching the video. In the Ramadan spirit, give a little, don't just take my tips, give me some too. Also, for those of you who are still waiting for my video about my weight loss routine and my exercise routine, I hate myself too, you know, like, hey, welcome to the club. I'm a bad person, you think I'm a bad person, we both think I'm a bad person. We've agreed, it's cool. I'm sorry, that's all I can say is I'm sorry. I have not uploaded it yet. It's because I just don't feel like I've lost enough weight to do the before and after photos, you know? Whenever I look at the before and after photos that I've set up, I'm just like, hey, but you look the same, bro. Like, I know you guys say I don't look the same, but I really think it looks the same. But inshallah, I promise, and this is a Ramadan promise, the next video is the weight loss exercise routine video, I promise. Thank you so much for watching. That will be the next video. Don't forget Instagram, TikTok to keep in touch and to give me your ideas, or like your friends, you can also use my Instagram DMs to completely harass me about videos that I don't upload. I kind of like it, low-key. And stay safe, stay healthy, stay at home. Yeah, that's all. Bye.